Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. A hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Hey guys, good evening, guys. We'll wait for 2 minutes, guys, so other join. Okay, guys, let's start. So, what are we going to do today? So, yesterday we have seen about Android. Okay, what is native? First, we have gone through native and hybrid applications. Then we have seen something called about native applications about Android. What is Android open source? How does it work? What are the advantages? All those things. Then, okay, then we have seen how do we do the setup? What do we do? Okay, what is that we need? We need IDE, we need SDK, we need all those things. That is what we have seen yesterday. Okay, and now today we are going to see, okay, about hybrid applications. So let me share my screen. Okay, let me share my screen here. Now let us start working with hybrid application. Let's say about day 4 today. So what are we going to do today is day 4. Let us see something called hybrid application. So what is this hybrid applications? I have already explained to you. Okay, hybrid applications is nothing but, or we call that as a cross-platform application. Cross-platform, or sometimes we call that as a hybrid. So what is the advantage? What is the advantage? I have already explained to you the difference between the hybrid applications and the native application. Native applications are the applications which runs on that operating system only. Like for example, if you build an application for Android, it runs only on Android. And if you build an application for iOS, it runs only on iOS operating system. So that is the main difference. Okay, that is how, that is a native application. Then what is hybrid application? The advantage with hybrid application is you build application using one code base. You can deploy that on Android and on iOS with some minor changes. Okay, so okay, now let us start working with this. So what are the advantages? I have already gone through some advantages with the hybrid applications. I'll just go and do a refresh. Okay, one thing is one code base. Using one code base, you have a lot of advantages. The time will be less. The time factor will be less. Plus, the cost will be less because you don't need to have multiple developers. Debugging will be faster. Okay, and the production, debugging will be faster and production will be more this thing. You can keep on upgrading your this thing applications. And if you work on separate two different applications, you have to do two different this thing. Okay, if you're working on two different operating systems, you have to build applications for two different platforms, and you have to build this thing. And one more thing is one is time and costing and debugging and production. Okay, what else, guys? What else with code base? Okay, what else with code base? Time, cost, debugging, production. I forgot twice. Okay, what else we can have an advantage? Okay. Time consumption. Okay, I'm not able to recall right now. I'll just stop it here. So one code base, you can deploy this. Yeah. One more thing is learning curve. Okay. If you work with Android and iOS, you have to learn Android plus Kotlin, and for iOS, you have to learn iOS plus Swift. These are the factors what will be there. So that is the main advantage why we use this Flutter. So we have already seen the difference between Flutter and this thing. Most of the applications, I'd say the commercial applications, like your Uber or Swiggy or Zomato or Flipkart, all those applications, they use hybrid. Okay, so these are called the commercial applications. They use the hybrid applications. So that is the advantage with the hybrid. But in hybrid applications also you have different, I have already mentioned, there are different technologies here. Like we have Flutter. The computer for this is React Native. Okay, then in Microsoft we have something called Xamarin. Okay, we have something called Kiwi in Python. Okay, then we have something called Flutter, React Native, Xamarin, Kiwi. Then we have Ionic. Okay, we have something called Cordova. Okay, and what else we have, guys? Ionic, Cordova, React Native, Flutter, Xamarin. Okay, there are a few more. I'm not able to recall right now. There are a few more technologies using which we can build the applications. But in this, most of the technology, the two big competitors are React Native and Flutter. These are the two guys who are big competitors in the market. React Native was there in 2016. This Flutter came into 2019. Okay, both of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. So how do I select which one I should use? So basically what I have seen with my experience, both of them are very good, very demanding in the market. You go to any one of the technology, you will be very, there is a huge demand for these two technologies, guys. That is what is my experience says here. Okay, now let me brief differences between these two things. Xamarin, it is Xamarin. Okay, Xamarin is from iOS. I'm sorry, from Windows. It's from Microsoft. For that, we need this thing. Okay, but it's not very catchy in the market now. Okay, very rare because Microsoft is the owner. This two things are very famous in the market. So why don't we start catching this? Let's see what is the difference. Let's see which one I should learn. I'll give you my opinion a bit later. We'll go through few things here, guys. Okay. So now, okay, my experience is both of them are very good in the market right now. Okay, I get requirements both on Flutter as well as React Native. Okay, so let me open my notes and let me say Flutter and React Native both are popular frameworks. Okay, can anyone explain to me what is a framework? Why can't I say this is a library? Why? Okay, what is a framework? Why is that I need to say a framework? Why can't I say this as a library? Anyone can answer this. You guys have seen Django is a framework, Flask is a framework, but Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib in Python, all are libraries. So what is the difference between a library and a framework? Anyone help me out with this? Nice, come on, anyone knows anything about it? Guys, no one want to answer this? Okay, no problem, guys. Framework includes programming. No, Pujita, no. Okay, no. Okay, very simple. Let me come back to what is a library. So if you guys remember on the first day, I said a library is nothing but a collection of classes to perform. Okay, that is what? A collection of classes. So you have different libraries. If I want to have some media, if I want to do something, I want to have input, output, print or scan, all those things. I have a input, output library. So for everything, we have a library, which will make your life simple, easy. That's it. Then what is a framework? Framework also makes your life easy. Then you'll ask me the next question. Then what is the difference between a library and a framework? See, I'll give you a very, very simple example. For example, I want to do just think about some addition library. I'm just giving an example. I have something called addition library. I have something called subtraction library. Using addition library, I'll give him two numbers. It will do addition, okay, and give me the result. I'm just giving a very, very simple example. Subtraction. There is a subtraction library. Okay, when you give two numbers, it will subtract and give you the difference between the two numbers. Fine, very good. Okay, this is my libraries. What is the use of the library? I'll call addition. I'll give two numbers. It will do it for me. I don't need to use the operators, neither check it is a positive, negative number. It's a decimal, all nothing. I just need to give the number. It will do everything for me. I'm just giving an example. Subtraction also, I'll call blind like I'll call the subtraction library. I'll give the numbers. It will do the subtraction, give me the difference between the two numbers. I'm done. Very good. Okay, but what is a framework? Framework is like, for example, I'll tell you this with the same example. Then for multiplication, division, okay, then I have something called, what is that called? Finding the modulus, all those things I have different libraries for this. So I have all these libraries, all these different libraries, I'm using it to do my job. I call these libraries. But one thing I noticed, for example, okay, addition, two numbers, subtraction, difference, multiplication, it gets multiplied by numbers, all those things. Same thing is getting repeated in all the projects. Not all the projects, I can say most of the projects, same thing is getting repeated. So now what should I do? Okay, what is that I'll do is I'll put this in a framework and for example, I'll call this as something called calculation. And in this calculation, I'll pass two numbers. When I pass two numbers, it will do all the calculations. I don't need to call separately the libraries, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus. I don't need to call separately. It will do everything for me and give me the result. So, okay, so what is the advantage? In this framework, it makes my life very simple. For example, it is framework 2. Okay, like I have Ansari framework 2. If I give two numbers, it will go and do division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, and give it to me. But in framework 3, a little bit advanced, if I give two numbers, it will give me the cos, sin theta, tan theta. Okay, what is it? Cosecant theta. It will give me the data for that also. That is the little bit advanced version. So this is the framework. So what is a library? To do one small this collection of these libraries makes a framework. So this Flutter and React Native is nothing but a collection of libraries which have a specific task to be done. That is the reason Flutter and React Native both are popular frameworks for building cross-platform mobile applications. What do you mean by cross-platform? You build application on one, deploy on multiple platforms. But they have some key differences in terms of architecture, development approach, and ecosystem. So now, based on this, okay, it's very difficult for you guys to select which one you want to go. Okay, I'll tell you some of the reasons. Okay, so whenever you have any chance to go through this, you can go through either Flutter or React Native. Both are very good in the market. So let us see one by one what is the difference. Okay, guys, give me 1 minute, guys. Give me 2 minutes, please. Okay, let's start with. So, so let us see some important differences between the Flutter and the React Native. So Flutter uses the Dart language. Here, for development of Flutter, we use something called Dart. Okay, for Flutter we use Dart. Okay, and for React Native we use JavaScript. Okay, or we use something called TypeScript. It's almost a TypeScript is a nothing but a superscript of JavaScript. Okay, we use Dart. Okay, we use this thing plus we use Flutter APIs. Okay, so these are the two things what we have been used. Okay, Dart is a programming language which is not as widely adopted as JavaScript, but it has growing community and support from Google. So this Dart language was introduced in 2011. Okay, okay, one second. So what happened was it was introduced in 2011 because there were some issues because of which they bugs they stopped it. 2014 they stopped it. Again 2017 they started again. Now Dart, okay, with Flutter you can build, okay, mobile apps, plus you also can build, okay, you can build mobile apps, you can build web apps, plus you can build mobile apps, web desktop apps, plus you can build IoT, Internet of Things. So this is the big advantage. Now you can see here from 2017, it has come back to the market, and in the next 7 years, it has taken into so many things. So this is the big advantage, what you can do with the Dart. Okay. Okay, next thing is, JavaScript. JavaScript is very old. Okay, I'll tell you my experience. I learned JavaScript in 1999, no, 2001. I learned JavaScript in 2001. It was there before that, okay? But at that time, JavaScript was only for, okay, it was only for web pages, interactive web pages, some animations and some validations. That is where we use JavaScript. Now JavaScript has changed like hell. It has totally changed. You use, okay, still you use for animations, use for validations, use for interactivity, plus you use for the server side, plus you use at the client side, plus you use at many places. So JavaScript is very versatile. Okay, very big. Okay, so JavaScript. Okay, you can learn Angular, React. Okay, any framework. Okay, of the JavaScript frameworks. So this JavaScript has gone like hell. So here, this is the advantage with JavaScript. So if, okay, here JavaScript has an edge over Flutter. Okay, I think React will have an edge over Flutter. But next point, Flutter provides a rich set of customizable widgets. What do you mean by widgets? Okay, widgets are nothing but, okay, like you guys have in web technology, you call that as a checkbox, combo box, drop down box, input field, edit text, all those things you call labels. These here in mobile technology, we call that as widgets. So Flutter has a rich set of customizable widgets that allow you to create highly customizable and platform specific UI elements. So using Flutter, you can design, your designing is much very good. Okay, it's very good designing. You have something called material design, and I have worked with this. You guys can do very good in UI design. Whereas React Native also uses the native components, which means it can leverage the native UI components of each platform, but customization may require more effort. So here Flutter will have an edge over React Native. So you guys need to understand, if your application needs, very good UI, okay, and you cannot compromise with the UI, then the option will, you guys have to go to Flutter. So who decides this? The customer, the client will decide it. Your architect, okay, sometimes the client says, I'm not interested in the technology. I need a good application. In that case, okay, your architect, your project architect, okay, will decide which technologies have to be used, which database have to be used, which APIs have to be used. It is decided by your architecture based on the requirements. So here is the thing: if there is a requirement more on UI part, you better go for Flutter. Okay, because in React Native it is difficult. It's not easy. Okay, to do more UI part. Okay. Third thing, performance. So here the client says, I want a very good performance application. Now, in this case, which is better? Which is better? Flutter often boasts better performance because it compiles to the native ARM code, resulting in smoother animation and faster execution. So here, the advantage with Flutter is Flutter directly runs on the operating system. So it often boasts better performance because it directly runs on the operating system. It is much faster because it compiles the native to ARM. Okay, ARM is nothing but the processor or the operating system. Directly it runs on the processor. Okay, it converts it code to the machine code. Directly it converts to the machine code, resulting in smoother animations and faster executions. So it is when compared to the performance, Flutter has an edge over React Native. So while React Native also aims for higher performance, it relies on the bridge between JavaScript and native code. Okay, this is the problem. This is the problem with your React Native. You need to write the code in JavaScript. JavaScript code is not directly converted to the native code. Okay, in between this JavaScript and native code, there is something called JavaScript engine, which converts the JavaScript code to the machine code or native code. Okay, that one step is extra. Because of this, the performance, okay, Flutter has an edge with respect to the performance of the applications, which can introduce a slight performance overhead. So when you talk about the performance, Flutter has advantage over React Native. When you talk about the UI components, Flutter has advantage over UI components. Development environment. Flutter offers a consistent development environment known as Flutter Doctor. What is this Flutter Doctor? That includes everything needed to development in a single package. So what happens is, okay, whatever you require, okay, this Flutter Doctor will come as a part of your SDK itself, which will help you which will tell you, dude, you have missed this tools, you have missed this part, you need to do this. All this information will be given by this Flutter Doctor. Okay, it's a tool which comes with your Flutter SDK. React Native development might require additional setup. So this is again a small advantage of Flutter over React Native. The advantage is React Native development might require additional setup. What is the additional setup? Especially for Android development, and it relies on Android Studio and Xcode for different platforms. This is the problem with the React Native. Even Flutter has the same problem, but Flutter installation part, you need to separately download the packages separately. Okay, the plugins for the React Native, but Flutter, it automatically, most of the plugins will come automatically in the SDK itself. So that is one small advantage of Flutter over React Native. Community for ecosystem. Flutter was introduced very lately. Okay, so the community is small, but for React Native, it is almost like 8-9 years. So it has a bigger community. What do you mean by community? Community means whenever you have some problem, whenever you have some issues, whenever you need some solutions, there are a lot of people who can help you out with that. If you have a larger community, solutions will be much faster. If you have a small community, solutions will be slower. So here, React Native has an advantage over Flutter. Then we have something called hot reload. Very nice concept, guys. They have introduced now most of the technologies like Android, iOS, okay, Flutter, React Native, Xamarin, everywhere you see something called hot reload. Angular, what is that? Angular, React, everywhere you see this hot reload. What is this hot reload? Hot reload is, okay, I'll tell you my experience, guys. Here my experience comes into picture. When I used to work with Android, I'm talking about 2013, 14, 15. Okay, 14, 15 till 14, 15. What happens is when I make a small change, when I change the color or when I add something very small change also, I have to rebuild the application. It takes 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds, more than that. But now we have a concept called hot reload. So what is this hot reload is nothing but when you make a small change, the entire application will not get rebuilt. Only that part which has been changed will get built. Because of that, the application will take 10 to 15 seconds to build. It will take 2 to 3 seconds to do it again. Okay, it will take 2 seconds. Okay, so that is how it is very fast now. Okay, even sometimes it takes 1 second. If you have a good system, it takes just a second. Okay, so this is the difference. Okay, now most of the technologies, they have come with a concept called hot reload. So in hot reload, when you make the changes, the entire application will not get rebuilt. Only the part which you have changed will get built. Because of this, it is much faster. Then native modules and plugins. Flutter has a small number of native modules and plugins available compared to the React Native. Okay, but it is growing. Here, what do you mean by native modules and plugins? Because I'll tell you a simple story. I want to achieve something. I want to, for example, I want to use something called face recognition. I'm just giving you a very simple example. Or I want to implement some AIML, something like that. For React Native, it is on JavaScript, and JavaScript is there almost like 25 years now, more than 25 years. So they have come with lot of libraries, lot of modules. Okay, all the plugins. What are plugins? Plugins is nothing but a small software. They have come with a lot of plugins and modules. So when you want to implement that in Flutter, you may need to do a little bit more hard work. But in React Native, you have a lot of libraries and modules available in the market. You can use it. So here, React Native has an advantage over the Flutter. Flutter is a new one. Okay, it has introduced like 4 5 years only back. So that is the reason it is still growing. But it is there. This is based on JavaScript. JavaScript has a lot of libraries. So whatever libraries and modules can be worked on JavaScript can be used in React Native. Because of that, it is much has a vast library of native modules. Okay, learning curve, same in Flutter, you need to learn Dart. Okay, and for this thing, you need to learn, for React Native, you need to learn JavaScript. And most of you guys may be knowing or might have worked on JavaScript. So once you learn JavaScript, you can learn Angular, React, TypeScript, anything you can learn. Node.js, all those things runs on React, on your JavaScript only. So in this case, this React has a small advantage over your Flutter. So this is the differences, guys. Now what is that I'll do is I'll stop for a minute and you guys can start shooting. Okay. Now you guys can decide which one you want to learn. You want to learn Flutter or you want to learn React Native. Both are hybrid applications. Both are very famous in the market, but both will have some advantages and disadvantages. That's it. Now you guys can shoot the questions, guys. I'll just keep it for 2 minutes. Anything which you guys have not understood. Anything which you guys have not understood. Why do you want to learn Flutter? Okay, using Flutter, you can build both iOS and Android application at the same time. So you don't need extra developers. Okay, the company required people like that. Okay, and you want to build any mobile applications, you can use Flutter. You want to build any web applications, you can use this Flutter and React Native. You want to build IoT applications or web applications, you can use this Flutter or React Native. So both of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. So you have to select which one you want to use it. Guys, anyone has any questions, you guys can shoot me. I'll just keep it for 2 3 minutes open. Guys, you guys can ask me anything. What do you want to know about it? Okay. Do I need to learn Android? I have already explained to you what is Android, how is it, how is it different from Flutter? Okay, in Android, if you go, you have automotive, you have so many things. Guys, start asking me the questions, whatever you have doubts. I want you to message me if you have yes or no. If you have doubts, okay, write the doubts. If you say no, okay, we can proceed. Right? No, guys. No doubts, no nothing, something like that. Guys, come on, write down yes or no. Very good. What about others? Good, good, Pujita. I want everyone, I want everyone to participate. If you have any questions, you can ask me. If you don't have any questions, say no. That's it, we're done. I want one or two one. Only Ishita, Pujita are interactive in the class. I want everyone to be interacting in the class. Okay, this is something, okay, again, whenever you learn something, you have to be very interactive. You should ask questions. You should understand. If you don't understand, ask me to explain it again. Make it clear till you understand. Okay, you don't need to feel shy with about your friends. It's very important that you have to learn. You have to survive in the industry. Don't care about anyone. Learn, start learning it. Don't feel shy. Make notes. Okay, and then you do your homework on that. Do your research on that. Anything you don't understand after you do the research also, you can ask me on that part. But you guys have to be interactive. Only 3 guys have responded to me. What about others? Guys, what happened to others? I've already given it, Lalit. I've given you very clear difference between advantages with Flutter. Okay, when there is a requirement with the UI part, if you want to, okay, if you want to have a very good UI and you want to build application, okay, your application should be more responsive. What do you mean responsive is, okay, it should respond, okay, it should be much faster. In that cases, okay, you can go for Flutter technology instead of React Native. Okay, but React Native, if you want to add some these things, okay, and okay, what happens is okay, there are a lot of large scale of plugins are available in React Native. It is done on JavaScript. So these are the some advantages with React Native. So who has to decide? Okay, the technology. Yeah, if you want to learn, okay, I would prefer going with Flutter. Okay, I think okay. One more very important thing. One more very important thing. What you guys should know is when you okay, this is how is the requirement in the okay in the market. Sir, I'm very good in Android. No, it is not sufficient. Yes, if you're good in Android with automotive, very good. You're good in Android with Android TV, good. So Android, okay, only Android will not be sufficient. You have to be good. Or you guys have to be good in one native application and one is hybrid. So both you have to learn. Okay, when I used to learn, Android was more than sufficient. I am telling till 2022, 2021, 2021, Android was sufficient. 21, yeah. But from last 2 3 years, things have been changing it. Okay, you have a lot of Android developers now. Then you need some specialization in Android, or you need both hybrid and Android. Then you have a very good this thing, or you should be very good in hybrid. If you have both the skill set, it's very good. You will get a job easily. So you need to know okay, what is that you need to learn. Is Android sufficient? Okay, Flutter, yes, Flutter is sufficient if you want to because you can deploy both on iOS and Android. So it will be sufficient for now for the market. Okay, you should be asking me the questions like that. Sir, I want to get a job. Okay, which technology will be much preferred? How should I learn this? Where should I learn this from? Okay, what are the prospects of this? You guys need to ask the questions. I hope most of you guys are freshers. It says that mobile app developer internship program. Okay, I know that you guys don't ask questions. Even if I would have been in your place, even I would have done the same thing. But I am trying to push you to ask the questions. Get it clarified. I do have the experience, guys. I have been working with the industry and I know in and out of the industry. So you can ask me any questions on the software development part. Come on, guys. No questions? Okay. So what is that I want to do is, now let me show you the installation part. So for installation part, I have already explained to you. If, for example, if I'm working with Flutter, I need to have few things. What is that? I need, because Flutter runs on Dart, I need Dart SDK. And then I need Flutter SDK. In this Flutter SDK, except the Doctor also comes, Flutter Doctor also comes here also. Yeah, it comes with this. I don't need to Doctor. I don't need to download separately. You know what is Flutter Doctor? It's like a manager. Okay, we have NPM manager. If you guys are from React to Angular background, we have something called Node package manager, which is responsible for do this. But here Flutter Doctor will do more than that, little more than that. Okay, then we have, okay, what is that we need? We need an ID. Okay, but here the advantage with this Flutter SDK and Dart SDK, I don't need to download separately. I can just download this Flutter SDK itself. So before this, I need IDE. Again, I'm going to use Android Studio. And I need some plugins. You know what is plugins? Plugins is nothing but a software. Here, plugins are used to connect between the IDE and the SDK. I need a plugins for that. So for that, what is that I'll do is I have already downloaded Android Studio. I'll open Android Studio here. Okay. And here, very simple, very simple. Yeah, this is the Flutter SDK setup. I'm just showing you setup and just run a small program, guys. That's it. Let it take time here. It takes time. I have a good system. Okay. So basically, here I need to download the plugins because I'll first download the plugins here. Open settings, plugins, go to plugins. What is the plugins I need? I need Flutter. I'll just type Flutter plugins. Okay, I'll say install. I'll say accept. And I'll say okay. I'll say okay. Okay. Okay, let it download. Now I need to do this one again. That was one. Exit. Again, I'll restart this Android Studio. Okay. So the plugins has to okay take into this thing. So we need to restart the Android Studio again. So let it start reading. Okay, did I start the Android Studio? Okay, let me start Android Studio. I think let me start this. Okay, let us start. So meanwhile, what is that I need? I have downloaded the plugins. What is the I have the IDE. So using the plugins, I can do it. So if the plugins has been installed, come to here, go to new. Here you see new Flutter project. You get this option only once you install it. So when I did okay. So now after this, what is that I'll do is I'll go and download. I'll go to Google here, Google, and I'll download Flutter SDK. Okay, I'll come to the first site here. Okay, Flutter SDK, come here. Okay, where is my development system? Where is my Flutter SDK? Okay, install Flutter, get started with Flutter SDK. I think here, yes, I have Windows here. Come to Windows. Okay, and here choose your first type of install. Install for Windows. Okay, Android. Okay, CPU display disk minimum recommended. Where is my get for Windows Android Studio Flutter? No, wait 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, give me one here. You choose which parts of full Twitter. Yes, I got this one. I'll download this one. It's around 1 GB, guys. Okay. So basically, what is that I'll do is I will download this, unzip this. I'll show you guys. I'll show you. Give me a minute. I'll show you installation part. I'll run the small project also at the same time. No, it takes a huge amount of time, guys. So let it download. Okay, I have not set up my Flutter in this part, so I'm trying to set up here itself. Okay, let it download here. After you download, what you guys have to do is you guys have to come here and you have to create a new project, new Flutter project. Once you create a new Flutter project, okay, what is that you want to use? You want to use for Flutter. Okay, here you have to give the path of the SDK. Right now, I'm still downloading it. Once I download and unzip it, I can give the part. After the part, give the name of the application and say finish. It will create a Flutter SDK. Same thing yesterday, what we have seen with Android, it will create now with Flutter SDK. So let it take time. Okay, where is my? Okay, it's very fast, guys, no problem. Meanwhile, you guys have any questions, you guys can ask me. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, you guys can ask me. Okay, till it gets downloaded. Same thing. What we have in Android SDK, same thing. We have libraries, we have tools, we have skins, we have platforms, all those things we have in Flutter SDK also. Same thing. You want to see this? I'll show it to you guys. So this will take more time than download. Huh? So basically what I have understood is from Flutter is much easier setup than anything because we have already installed Android Studio or you guys want to use with VS Code. I'll show you VS Code tomorrow. You can use with VS Code, but still if you use VS Code, you have to download Android Studio and you have to create an emulator. How did we create an emulator for Android? Same thing, you guys have to do it. That is the reason I'll do it on the Android Studio itself. Guys, any questions you have, we can shoot me the questions, guys. Okay, sorry, I didn't see this question. Space, yeah, space. We don't need much space, guys. Early. 30-40 GB is enough of the hard disk space. Only again the problem is with the RAM, because you're going to start an emulator, okay, for which you need a lot of RAM. So okay, RAM should be more. Space not a matter. Space doesn't matter a lot. Srinivas, yeah, Srinivas. I start shooting the questions. What happened? But the RAM should be more. The more the RAM, it's good. Yeah, if there's any questions, you guys can ask me. So this is about the Flutter. This is about React Native. And you guys have seen about Android. Tomorrow I'll show you about React Native and a little bit on the, okay, the PWS. Okay, I'll show you about something about the progressive web apps. You guys want to know anything? Anything is fine, guys. Anything from the mobile technology you can ask me. Yeah, guys. No one has any questions? No, no, Lalit. No, we can't use Python. Okay, Flutter runs only on Dart. We can't use Python. If you want to learn, if you want to work on Python, you have to learn Kiwi framework. Okay, Flutter works only on Dart. React Native works only on JavaScript. And what is that? Kiwi works only on Python. See, this is the problem, guys. You have to have a very good system with very system. If you guys want to work into mobile technology, it takes a lot of memory. I don't think so, guys. It takes too much of time to do it. Okay, that's it. After you do it, you unzip this file, unzip it, and when you create a project, give the path of this SDK. That's it. After that, we can start building the project. I'll show you at least one project. If this works, still 9%. It's taking too much of time to unzip it. Yeah, guys, you can shoot me the questions. If you have any questions, start shooting it. Don't wait. Well, see, this is the problem. It takes a huge amount of time to unzip it. Okay, no problem. Tomorrow, if possible, I'll show you tomorrow a small application on Flutter, then a little bit on React Native, little bit on okay, progressive web apps. Okay. Any questions you guys have, you guys can ask me. We have something called Flutter Flow also. You guys want me to remind me tomorrow? Okay, please remind me about Flutter Flow also. What is Flutter Flow? I'll explain to you. A very nice thing. You guys will like, most of you guys will like that. Okay, just remind me tomorrow, guys. So installation part will take okay, anything installation part will take much time. Anything you take Android or take Flutter or React Native or anything, it takes time, guys. No worries, guys, don't worry. I'll show you tomorrow. Okay, it has been downloaded. It has been unzipped now, almost unzipped now. 99% has been unzipped. So tomorrow I'll show you how do we create an application in Flutter, and we'll run a small application, Hello World application, and see that. At least we'll do that much for tomorrow. Then we'll start. Okay, we'll go with other stuff. What I have explained. Okay, guys. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time. Okay. Any questions? Anything you want to suggest? Anything you want to ask? You can ask me. Guys, anything? Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a nice, okay, good night, guys. Bye.